Where are you currently taking most of your inspiration from, both creatively and in business?
Okay. And is this like a specific person that I'd be like watching on Instagram, how they do their creative, their editing style?
It definitely could be.
Okay.
I mean, if you were asking me, like I have a creator I'm thinking of for as of right now, maybe two.
I mean, I still love the Alex Garcia stuff, if I'm
Yeah.
being honest.
Sweat Equity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like the whole.
That is the setup. That is
Yeah.
the podcast. But I think it's obvious in kind of some of the stuff we do that he is an inspiration for sure. And I just put out a piece of content like 2 days ago that we recorded 8 months ago. And it was very much like the cutout, talking with the mic, Alex Garcia,
Green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that I think we've taken, or at least I've taken inspiration from him for a while. I know that you have too.
Yeah, I think the biggest lesson we've learned, at least especially for me, since those 8 months ago, like making that, is like the difference from inspiration, but then just like blindly copying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's been a big transition we've made in the last half year or so of like taking influence and inspiration from something, but not just trying to be that,
Mm-hmm.
and having to come to the realization that like we're not Sweat Equity, although like some of the fundamentals here definitely like lean that way.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to understand like that isn't authentically us, and we can like it and we can take inspo from it, but having to remain true to who we are and what we do. And I think that's been the biggest change. One of the biggest changes in our headspace, I think, moving into 2026, which has been cool. And I was thinking Alex Garcia. I mean, I think
I just like how he presents. It's a package. I think sometimes creators, or not necessarily even creators, just like marketing agency type people, I think that their content they make can look so, there's no theme. It looks so spread out. Like each post has a different kind of color to it, different lighting, different vibe to it.
there's no world building.
There's no world building. I think he
Which is
does
what
a
he
really
talks
good
about.
job of like when you click on his post or any post on his page, you know, like this is an Alex Garcia post.
Mhm.
The colors, the font, the type of content he's making.
Yeah.
It all just screams like this is him.
He has a style.
So I think like it's a really good, he just packages what he does really well.
Mm.
And that's what I kind of take inspiration from.
Mhm.
Not there yet. Like if you look at my personal Instagram page, it's like craziness. There's all different types of posts. There's no color schemes. There's no nothing. But I think something that I'm inspired by or moving towards is like, how do I make Sam Coates look like its own?
Mhm.
Or Drifters Media for that.
Have a brand.
How do we
though.
make Drifters Media look like you click on it and you know that's Drifters?
Yeah, and that's it. It takes so much. Like, it's such a cohesive. A brand has to be a really cohesive unit, and that's what Alex does really well. And like when you look at Drifters Media in the past, and like the retro and the western, and like it was cool, but like, was it all over the place? Like, yeah, that's an understatement for sure. So, yeah, I was wondering about just a creator, and then I didn't know if you were consuming any content styles or formats particularly, like calling back to like the Yeti or the Sitka stuff that was like so big when we were coming up.
I mean, obviously the things that I thought were the coolest back in the day, I still really think are cool. Like Yeti, the Yeti shorts, Yeti Presents. I think those are awesome, how those are shot, but we don't really do that much. Like we don't really make the long form content like that
Anymore.
as often. We can, we just don't as often. But what I've kind of been doing is, and I talked about this in a post that I made, is like my algorithm has been showing me all this new niched, like micro, not influencers, but micro creators content, just because I'm making that similar content myself. And so I've been taking inspiration just from like dudes with 10,000 followers or 4,000 followers, or not some big name creators
with necessarily all the resources.
With all the
It's more
resources.
guys,
It's
yeah.
guys who like don't have the resources and have to find a way to make something stand out, make it creative.
Yeah.
So some of the creative that we've been doing on the real estate side of things, I've been inspired by this guy based out of Scottsdale, and he does some real estate videography stuff, but he's the one that really makes it cinematic. He does like some of the AI, night to day transitions and stuff. And that's the stuff that I'm kind of trying to get to.
Lean toward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's I'm taking inspiration from micro influence or micro creators instead of, these guys have millions of followers
Or the brands.
or brands.
Because, and I mean, really,
Yeah.
that's what's cool about the internet right now is like those brands are like, they're almost unrelatable anymore because they have all the resources. And
Mhm.
a lot of the best creators are creating with no resources, you know?
Yeah.
So I do think that's what's really cool about the internet space right now. With creative is it's so empowering to,
Well, and you don't get the behind the scenes that you would from those smaller creators. Like a big brand is only going to show you the finished product.
Mhm.
And you're not going to see how it was made. And what I'm finding is a lot of guys are showing you, like, here's how I got this.
delivering
certain
the
shot.
value.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it takes a shot that is really, really cool and almost seems unattainable. And then you see them, lighting it in their own kitchen or their own living room or their garage or something. And it's
Mhm.
like, okay, so you can, like, it's easy. You can do that. It's not easy. You have to know what to do, but it's not unattainable.
There's a process.
It's not big budget. Like, I saw this video the other day and it was like this really cinematic, short piece of content. It was all horizontal, so it was like one of those turn your phones to watch it. And it was just this guy with this old school muscle car, and he was taking really cinematic shots of it, pulling out of the driveway, driving it down some backcountry road. And there was one scene in there where he like turned the key and the exhaust fired up, and like there was like this fireball coming towards the camera, just a quick cut. But then he showed how he did that, and he just had this tube and he filled it full of butane or something and lit it on fire, and it just made like a quick burst of fire. But he was in his garage.
Yeah.
So it's like that shot that looks really cool and looks big budget, hard to make. He did in his garage with a can of butane and a folded up, or a piece of PVC pipe.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff I've been enjoying, is like, how do you make big budget stuff but do it on a small scale?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been taking inspiration from.
Yeah, and I think it's like there's a real skill to packaging what used to be an 8-minute story film into like a hyper consumable vertical piece of content that I really used to not appreciate at all. And obviously now I'm just like, that is such a skill set, and the guys who do it at the highest level, I'm just like so impressed by. Like the one that always stands out is like Duck Trip or whatever from Sitka. I can't remember the exact name, but they it might be Duck Trip, but they go all the way up and they hunt all the western states for mallards and everything. It's like sick. But it's 12 minutes long, 8 minutes long, something like that. And it's like finding a way to package that into a highly or hyper consumable piece of content vertical now and not losing what was great about it, like, is such a challenge. But there are creators that are literally
They can
accomplishing
do
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they can do it. It's
And
impressive
I think that's
when you
super
see it.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like there is no time or space for filler
No.
doing that.
No.
And it makes it super, super cool.
But the sound design, what
Yeah.
you're seeing, the way that they upload it to Instagram, and it seems to keep that like 4K quality it's impressive. So
I like that.
yeah.
So Alex Garcia and then micro creators, kind of
Alex Garcia, business side, micro creators on the
creative, kind of letting the algorithm show you what's
Yeah.
new and what's happening.
I'm just finding new things that I wouldn't have found if I wasn't doing the social media post every day, So
if you interact with it, it can. Yeah, I mean, they talk about an X all the time. A lot of the biggest X influencers, we've worked with a couple before who are like, the way you use social media is really a mirror. And like, if you're not having a good experience on it, you're probably not using it right. Like
Right.
you can build community, you can make connections, you can't, like, guys are doing that. They've been doing it. X is famous for it. So it has been really fun posting every day for now 45 days, whatever it's been for me, and a little shorter for you. Just like, yeah, your experience with social media changes like really rapidly. And it's interesting to see. So coming off that,
you want me to hit you with one?
yeah, you can hit me with
All
one.
right.
We'll go back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth. Thanks, better. All right, this is kind of a broad. Well, this is really stripping it down to like somebody starting a business. And I've got, what are 2 things that you must get right when starting a business? And I also understand that like
2 things that you must get right.
that you really should get right when you start a business. And I understand, like, there's certain things you're going to niche into when you start, but I think there are a couple things that
yeah.
it matters
I would definitely have partners, whoever you partner with, be that equity or like first however you're doing it. If you're a founder and you're hiring one employee, like you have to get those initial teammates right. For us, it was equity partners. You got to get partners right. And I think you have to get the shared vision or like the long-term outlook. I feel like you have to get that right too, pretty early on.
You're talking with your partners or like what this brand is set out to try to accomplish?
What the brand set out to try to accomplish. Yeah. That was a good. Yeah. I think like you got to get the partners right. You got to have two people that work well together. Shared passion or work ethic for sure. It can't be like, I really want to do this and like I kind of want to do this. That's never gonna work. I don't think.
You gotta be on the same page.
Yeah, and then like to your point, the brand vision on a long-term scale of like what are we trying to accomplish with this? And you know, in business that can vary for sure, but it's like Alex Hormozi talks about this and I love it. He's often on the premium luxury side of things. Like that's where he's trying to get with his businesses as far as pricing and ideal client avatar goes. And he's like, the businesses that always fail are the ones that want to be premium, but they're acting as if like cheap is an option. And it's like, if you're going to be the cheapest option, you have to decide today you're going to be the cheapest option. And that's your thing.
Right.
Like, I'm the cheapest option and you can live in that and you can win there. But you can't want to be premium, but present yourself as otherwise or have these, you know, it was advice we got years ago from a friend was like, you have to admit your ambitions. And I think that falls in line with what is this brand really trying to do? Like for the longest time, we were like, you know, we had no identity behind Drifters. And luckily, I think our partnership was strong enough that it kind of drug us through the mud on a lot of things. But those would be the two that stand out in my mind. You got to get the partnership right. You got to have someone that you can count on, you can trust, and that shares the passion or the work ethic with you. It can't be a one-sided thing as far as that goes. And then the second thing is like the vision for what this brand or business is going to accomplish down the line. I think if you don't have an end goal that's like you can write it out and point at it,
it's tough.
Yeah,
that might change. Like for us, it changed. Like what we started out trying to do is not what we're doing now. But I think if you have a similar vision as to where you think it's going to go, you can at least work towards that and then evolve as a company and switch directions if you have to.
Yeah. I think so for sure. I think it's very natural to iterate, and you should iterate because you're going to be wrong at first. Like where you think you're going to end up probably is not where you should end up.
Right.
Minus a handful of cases. And maybe further down, maybe if you're Alex Hormozi and you're starting businesses now, like you might have a real good idea where it's going to go. You've done it a long time. But I think it's important to iterate, but I do think you have to have like some sort of goal when you set out, or it's just gonna be a mess. Like if you're just like, I like hats, so I'm gonna make hats, I would argue that like it's gonna be really hard to turn liking making hats into like a feasible business model. Yeah. Like especially the scalability.
And you might have some success at first, but when it comes to really growing it and scaling it, it's where
well, because you don't know what you're trying to do.
Right.
Like if you don't know, like, well, I think this happens, then this happens, and then you know, we move into t-shirts, then I grow, and then I get affiliates, and then like it's an e-com business that scales. It's like if you don't have that plan, you're gonna make a batch of hats and hand them out, and it's just gonna be it. That's know. So yeah, I think you have to have a goal, and that goal will more than likely iterate and change, but you need to have one. And then the partners is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I had partnership, but I had it for kind of the same reason, but a little different, and that is like find partners with different strengths. You have to have somebody that. It's tough because you have to find somebody with the same vision but a different set of skill sets than you.
100%.
Because like if we did the same thing, we wouldn't be where we're at now.
Well, you're gonna butt heads.
Yeah.
Well, it actually doesn't work.
Well, it just doesn't work because there are parts of businesses that two people you can't do everything. And so if you have two guys that have the same skill set, there's gonna be part of that business that's lacking somewhere.
Well, and like a cohesive business or brand really needs leadership in the different roles.
Right.
I think like we love like the Raw Dog, like Ian Fons and all that. Like we follow, like we like to consume the content that's coming from Austin creatively because it's like very interesting the influence that creators are having, health and wellness, digital tech. Like Austin is a booming area, similar to Nashville, but different verticals, I guess, that are being built into. Nashville is very music forward, like obviously, and then like Austin's kind of building this like very health and wellness, like Nick Bare forward thing. And so you look at the Raw Dog guys, and Ian Fons actually talked about it, where he was like, they all were the outgoing wannabe, the sales guy voice brand, and like it doesn't.
Sure.
It actually, it actually does not
full
work.
of sales guys.
You can't have four. Yeah, you can't have four guys who are like, I'll be the face of this. It's
Right.
like that will
You're
not
gonna
work.
butt heads. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we just got lucky because we met in college. So it's like it's not necessarily usual that it would happen like that, but it's definitely good that like we're complementary and able to kind of I mean, it takes trust, but we've obviously built that over time. But like, kind of just be like, dude, your vision with that is what's gonna
Right.
sink or float the
Right.
ship, and we trust each other enough at this point.
But overall, I think that is a partnership. Who you choose to go into business with
number
is
one.
very important.
Yeah.
Or if you're going into business by yourself, who you choose to hire.
Yep.
It goes to say like who your hires are, who your employees are going to be, like that. That really.
It's like the first three individuals, be it a founder and two employees,
They gotta be hammers,
two
you know?
founders in the first. Yeah, it's like yeah.
And then the other thing I had was the name, just because
Yeah, I
like,
think
whatever
name's
you
important.
choose to name your, and this goes along with branding, but whatever you choose to name your brand, it's so hard to do a rebrand down the road.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
It can be done, and it can be done successfully, but it's tough.
Yeah, and I think the name is important. I kind of talk about this a lot, like make the decision right. Worry less about did I make the right decision, and worry about making the decision you made
How
the
do I
right
make
one.
it right?
And so I think
Yeah.
like pick a name, pros and cons it.
Right.
Don't get caught up for a month and a half. And then figure out the branding behind it, and then build the brand.
Right.
That would be my suggestion to everyone. Like, and
the
not that you're
the
wrong.
name, no, but the name is only as cool as the brand.
Man, the name's a vessel
Yeah.
for the brand building.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's good to have a cool one.
Mhm.
It definitely helps. Drifters Media has helped
For
us.
sure.
Like, it's a memorable name. I'm glad we got it right, but everything we've done behind it is really the brand, more so than just like if it was Drifters and it was just corporate, sleek, dumb. It'd be like,
That's what it would be.
who cares?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think name is important, with the caveat of like what you do after is like makes or breaks the name.
I like this. So that's almost more important. That is more important than the actual name. So a good name's important, but like how you brand that name is what's really important.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially we see that with a lot of the clientele we work with. Like there's several competitors that you look at and it's kind of like they'll love the name. They're like, oh, I love that name. And it's like, you love the name because you love the brand. Like if that brand
Yep.
sucked, you'd hate the name.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, but no, I think that kind of covers it. Partners, vision, and name as a vessel of a really well-defined brand.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this.
Yep.
What did you set out to change in the new year, and how's that going after 1 month? What's one thing you set out to change?
I mean, I think the most obvious was like social media presence, posting every day, exposure to the Drifters Media brand. I think like, and it's one of those things that and you and I talked about it. We knew we needed to do it, and we just kept pushing it off. And so it was finally like, all right, January 1st, I'll post every day. And what was the second part of the question?
How's it going?
How's it going? I mean,
after
it's
a
going
month?
great. Like I feel more confident or more comfortable, I guess, talking about the stuff that I know. So I think before I was posting every day, I knew that I knew things, but conveying them and explaining them was always harder than it's become before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the more I talk about something, obviously, the better you get at it. But
Yeah, I mean, communication's a skill.
Mhm.
Like,
so
and we took the thing from Higher Up Wellness.
yeah,
Kind of kicked it off.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
my first post was December 14th. And I would suggest to anybody who wants to get into it, thinks they should, knows they should, whatever, wherever you're at in social media, use that as your excuse to do it.
For sure.
Like
It's
just
an
use the
easy
Higher Up
way.
Wellness
Right,
challenge
right,
as your first post
right.
until you get comfortable just doing it. You know, I started it, but I kind of dropped off, but I keep posting every day, so I'm still kind of doing it. But I guess for us, obviously the vision is more about building a business and a brand. So like, I kind of didn't want to keep saying like day 11 of the Higher Up Wellness Challenge. I kind of just want to start talking about the business.
Yeah.
But it was like it kind of took so much pressure off of it because it's like I'm taking this from Michael Smoke and Higher Up Wellness, and I
Like,
would
oh, it's
suggest to
not
anybody
my
to do that.
idea,
Exactly.
it's his idea, and I'm just
if
trying
you
it
need
out.
that, like, what is my first post? Do that, and
Well,
then let it snowball.
Yeah.
you know.
I did find too that it's just I'm more comfortable posting on social media stuff I obviously wouldn't have posted last year. It's like, oh, that's a post. I start looking at everything as that's potential content to help the brand or help the business. Also, you know, creatively, it's made me sit down and actually make highlights of the work that we've done. And I think that was killing us because we've done so much work over the last 3 years and have done a terrible job
Promoting it. Yeah.
And so that was a big thing that I knew we needed to change this year. And just if I wasn't posting every day, it wouldn't give me a reason to make those highlight reels.
100%.
So I think it's been beneficial to my own personal brand. I think it's been beneficial to Drifters Media. And I'm actually getting to the point where I kind of enjoy it.
No doubt.
It makes me like sit down and go, okay, what am I going to talk about today? And it makes me kind of focus or, how do I want to say this?
Well, it's almost like a digital journal.
Yeah, it is like a journal.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like you actually have to think about where you're at in time
It
and
is.
space. And it almost brings a sense of gratitude that like we have struggled with previously. And not even like, you know, overt gratitude or whatever, but like we've always been, or for years we've been like, we hardly ever stop and like smell the roses, do that thing. Like, you know, we're taking trips in Canada, like all this stuff with different clients, really cool stuff, making TV shows, like whatever. And we just never were like horrible
Just keep
about like,
moving.
oh, that was cool,
Yeah.
which is good for building a business because you have to continue to like march forward. But, you know, when you stop and post every day, it's kind of like, oh, like this
We
was a
did
cool
that and
thing
it's actually
today.
cool.
Or
Yeah.
like this was a
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
thing today, or this taught me this lesson, or I learned this last month. And
Right.
it's turned into this. And so,
Well, and just the people too who have reached out, or the people who have followed, or the people who've I've ended up following. Like, I think it's a great way to build community.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, modern culture it's so ingrained into modern culture that I would suggest to anybody, for some people it's not right. Like social media can obviously like have its negatives too, but like if you're sitting there kind of on the sidelines like we were and you feel drawn to it, you should really start.
Yeah,
Because I think the pros way outweigh the cons.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, how about yourself? Actually, what have you? Oh, you had a viral moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I went viral.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your prompt for me?
No,
Or
that's just like
kind of keeping it going.
hitting you with the question
Sure.
back.
Yeah, I mean, it was like my 40th or 41st day posting every day. And I posted a little, 40 some second clip about Buffalo Wild Wings. And it's over 550,000 views, which is so funny.
Well, it's funny because you knew that piece of content had virality potential
At the
But it has-
the Franklin, Tennessee YMCA
Right.
parking lot. Yeah.
in the truck, but it has like nothing to do with like, you know,
It's top of funnel
business.
content,
It
right?
is,
And so it's like
very top of funnel.
super.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess like it's something that we always kind of forget or whatever the word is, but we don't give ourselves credit probably for the amount of work and the knowledge base we've built in and around social media. And so I guess it was interesting, like diving in, doing a bunch of stuff that was super conversion forward, but bottom of funnel, like talking about our marketing agency, which isn't well known at all or whatever. And then like I throw out like, that was the most top of funnel thing I've ever done in 40 some days. It's like over 500,000 views.
Goes huge.
And like I did it the first time and I watched it back. And I rarely do videos twice, but I watched that video back. I'm like, if you're going to do Buffalo Wild Wings, you have to like make it hooky.
Yeah.
Did a hook, posted it. 2 days later, it's like 250,000 views. So
Still climbing.
yeah, it's been interesting. It was fun. Yeah, I'm excited, I guess, to hopefully start to bring those views to business stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't ever discredit the power of top of funnel content.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all these great creators, like they do top of funnel content, they mix it in. You
Mm-hmm.
might not even notice it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I know higher up, Michael Smoke, he talked about his first viral thing was him talking about
Yeah. Well, the filet
Fish
of
or
fish.
fillet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
fillet of fish.
the fish sandwich series that just went berserk.
Right.
And
It has
it-
nothing to do with what he does now.
He did like the Oreo Coke and all sorts of stuff that He was always doing other stuff around it.
Right.
But it was just understanding that like
Top of funnel is important.
it's super important.
Yeah.
You got to show personality. People like people, they want to follow people,
right.
you know? So
Right.
you can't have an ego that tells you you're,
Well, and part of it is like this guy understands. For if somebody's looking at your page, they go, well, this guy understands virality, but he also understands like what to do once you get virality with the more bottom of funnel content. That
yeah, you pivot back.
Right.
Like you don't just,
So it's kind of a credibility building thing for, for yourself.
it definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fun moment.
All right, I'll hit you with another one. Unbiased opinion, as unbiased as you can be. Should you diversify or focus on one business alone?
Unbiased opinion.
Unbiased opinion.
You should focus.
Yeah.
For sure. We haven't done that. Hand up. Fully admit that we're massively diversified. We're spread extremely thin often.
And why diversify? Like what is the reason?
Well, the value in, yeah, okay. So I guess a quick little recap just of what we're diversified into. We have a digital marketing agency. We're partnered in a property management company. Off of that, you're already a legal broker and I'm becoming a broker.
Affiliate.
You're an affiliate
Yeah,
broker. And I'm on my way to being affiliate broker in a land sales brokerage, traditional real estate. And then we manage artists through Red Light Management in the music space. So we're managers in country music. And then we also have an acoustic sessions YouTube channel and brand we're building. And we're partnered on most, like other than Drifters Media, we have partners and
Yep.
everything else we
Yep.
do. And I would say that we diversified because relationships continued to build through the marketing agency, that just new opportunities with new partners that we really valued working with. And so that's why we diversified. But I would say that 95% of people that are entrepreneurs shouldn't. I think if you're able to like keen in on what you're trying to accomplish and really focus every single day on it, you'll probably scale and grow it quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we would have, to be
Right.
totally transparent. I
Yeah.
think we would have scaled quicker if we would have focused on just the agency. But for us, like, we have a unique thing. Like
Yeah.
college together, roommates, business partners. Our business has transitioned from outdoor media to like full marketing agency now. So we just kept getting in rooms with people that we really valued, and the marketing background makes them want to work with us on new projects.
Right.
And we just kind of kept diving into those.
Right.
And I don't regret them at all.
Well,
but
and that's why I asked the question, because I know we were talking about this a couple days ago or something. But I think it's really interesting to think about, like, when does distraction overcome opportunity? Like, when do you go, okay, this is distracting me and not bringing me enough opportunity? It's a fine line, because I think
it's a super, like,
I
it's
think
a super fine line.
I think we run into it more because the digital agency, but I think a lot of like entrepreneurs are going to run into a lot of opportunity. So
especially those that are even remotely successful, because
Right.
entrepreneurship isn't easy.
that's the thing. And
So
it's
if-
not defined as one thing. So if you're an entrepreneur, you don't go, well, that's real estate, so I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, they all bleed
Your brain
over.
just kind of goes like, I can do that because that's what I'm trained to think.
Well, yeah, that's the makeup of an entrepreneur is such that you want to do new things. Like,
right.
you don't just like get into it and just like be rigid and just like, I'm only
Right.
doing this, you know?
So I think a lot of people will end up having opportunities they didn't expect, and then it's like, okay, is this a distraction or is it a massive opportunity, and how do you figure out which one it is?
yeah. I mean, 100%. You know, and
Maybe that is the question, and there's no real answer for it.
when distraction outweigh opportunity? We have a tendency to, like the Will Smith, bite off more than you can chew and then chew it. We've
yeah.
said that to each other. It's
Yeah.
funny.
That's what we should have called the podcast.
No kidding. Yeah.
Welcome to the
but-
Bite Off More Than We Can Chew Than We Chew It
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. My goodness. What a moment in time. What a moment in the internet. But I do think you have to be very good. You have to develop a brutal level of honesty with yourself. And if you're going to continue to diversify as we have, you have to be prepared to have honest conversations about what is this opportunity now bringing me from a value standpoint, and how do I need to balance that with everything else going on.
Right.
Because we've had things where it's like really believed in that we're still partnered in, that we've had to like back off or change or figure out, or how does that fit in, or that doesn't fit in right now, or you know what, the big picture plan with that still exists, but the short-term plan on that is no more.
Right.
Like, there is not a short-term, like, this is a huge cash flow opportunity for us at this point, you know, and so I think it's just a brutal honesty with yourself and being willing to admit, like, I was wrong. Or even like a right or wrong. Maybe it's not even like thinking you're right or wrong, but just like, I have new stimulus that I need to perceive.
Right.
And now that this stimulus is here, I need to change my approach because of what I've now learned. And for us, I mean, as long as you have a long-term outlook on things and the partnerships are right, I think diversification is good. I would just not suggest it to most people if you're worried about scaling.
Infant stages.
Yeah, man. Oh, especially infant too. Because we didn't do any of that.
No, we did.
You know what I mean? Like,
Drifters Media was fully functional by the time we started diversifying.
Yes, like we were paying bills before we got into anything else. So, I mean, in the short term, like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And you still have to have a number one.
Right.
Like, for us, it's the agency. Everything else kind of almost falls off into almost feels like a client
subcategory
because of the marketing.
Right.
So I think it'd be nuts if you were, you know, in the brand new stages of an e-commerce business, then also try to start a power washing company.
Right.
I'd just be like, you can't.
There's too much going on.
Yeah, you gotta pick one.
I will say too, like the agency is a real, like, it's not labor intensive. So starting like a power washing company where you're gonna be the guy out there running the power washer is a lot harder to do, because it requires you to go be outside doing the task. Whereas we can do a lot of what we do from a laptop.
From an office, yeah.
Right.
That's why everything feels almost downstream of the agency. Because aside from the actual shoots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just interested in
that was a good one.
thoughts on that, yeah.
That was a good
kind
one.
of a tricky one.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those, like, I mean, net positive, that's the name.
Yeah.
You know, if you feel like
Is
it's
it
a
a net
net
positive?
if it's a net positive,
Right.
then maybe gut it out and build it out. But okay, last one for you for this week. What's the biggest lesson you've learned as a creative director over the last 2.5 years?
Let me think how I want to say. There's value in simplicity, is what I would say.
I like that.
I think you know, I think we both did it when we first got to Nashville. We first worked with clients. We want to make these big, long stories, cinematic, 10-minute long videos, and those are great. And I still think they're really cool. But you have to do what the algorithm rewards. You have to do what does best for your clients. And I think in today's age, if you can keep it simple, keep it entertaining, you know, it's gonna perform better than a little mini documentary ever would.
The market's always right.
The market's always right. Yeah, we talk about that all the time. Yeah. So, I just think when you know, going into these shoots, how we're doing them now, I think it's not about interviews.
It's so much ego.
Well, yeah, it's not about ego, but it's not about how can we make this some 13-minute long. It's like, no, you need, you know, you're creative. It's more quality over quantity.
It needs to work.
Like, what you do has to look really sharp. It has to make sense, and it has to get your point across, like, quickly. If it doesn't do those things, then you're wasting your time.
Yeah. I think, just to piggyback off that, like, we're a lot more intentful about what we do.
Maybe that's the word.
Now.
Maybe I shouldn't have said simplicity. Maybe intentful is the word that.
I mean, I think simplicity ties in with it because it's the complexity is in the planning and in the and in the everything that goes around it. It's still a complex process, but you're not so worried about, like you say, a 15-minute story. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think the word, at least for me, that I've, you know, to kind of carry on with it, is like the intent.
Yeah.
Being intentful in what we do.
Yep.
As on the creative side of things, like, this piece of content has a goal. What is that goal?
Right.
And understanding that.
Right. And how to get that piece of content. You know, what prompt do I need to give the client so that they say the right thing?
Right.
You know, and I guess that is where it becomes more, like you said, complex. Is the planning is actually more complex than the actual shoot is.
Should be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not how we were going about things
Originally.
back in the day.
Yeah.
It was, we'll figure it out on site, and then we'd get on site and you'd shoot a whole bunch and do a bunch of interviews and be left with a lot of stuff that's not that incredible.
It doesn't carry any value,
Right.
you know, unfortunately. Like, yeah.
So,
Intent and like a goal.
Right.
man.
So maybe
Like,
the answer then is complexity before the shoot, simplify the shoot. Intent during the shoot.
yeah. No, I think that's
that would
it.
be
Yeah.
kind of how I think we're both going about things now. You know, I think the planning as a creative director, I didn't do pre-shoot planning as much.
Not at the level
a
we
couple
are
years-
now.
Not like we're doing it now, and I value that so much more now because I think it determines the success of your shoot. How prepared am I going into the shoot, and then the shoot just happens.
Yeah.
You know, make sure your lighting's right, make sure the camera's set up right, all that stuff. But that's just fundamentals. Like, make sure you're going into the shoot knowing here's the lighting that we want, here's the vibe that we want, here are the questions we're asking, and yeah, this is the intent of what we're doing here.
I mean, 1,000%. That's a good answer. Yeah.
All right, my last one for you. What is something you care less about now, and why?
Something I care less about now and why.
In a business
Yeah.
sense, obviously.
Yeah. My ego or opinion about like brand or creative, as far as kind of like we just said, right? Like the algorithm in the market is always right. So I used to really care about like what I thought was cool. And now it's much more based on understanding the algorithm and the analytics and like what works and what doesn't, and still having authentic stylistic choices for myself or for drifters, like whatever, but
Sure.
leaving the idea that like, this is what people really want. It's just like no one else has figured it out yet. It's
Right.
like, I'm going to let that go.
Right,
man.
right.
I held on to that, and you did too, but I especially did like really hard early on. And you're just like, you're not, I wasn't that smart. Like I wasn't out thinking the
Yeah.
algorithm, because the algorithm is just people. It's just
It
the way that
is.
people are interacting
Right.
with content. So the idea that no, like the spaghetti Western long form documentary thing, love it. Awesome passion project.
Right.
But like the idea that was the direct or the correct path for our agency to take was based on no data. It was
Just
just
what we
total
personally
feel.
liked.
You know what I
Right.
mean? And like
Right.
now I've totally I've left the ego of like that way behind, and now it's more so the cool stylistic tweaks
Sure.
that make stuff that's already working ours.
Right.
So that would be the biggest.
Okay.
That would be my answer.
I think
to
that's
that.
solid. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's solid. I do think that it's easy to be like, well, I know what's right, and this is what I like, but like you said, the market's always right.
The market's always right.
It's gonna tell
It
you
just,
what's right.
It just is, man.
I also
And, like,
think it's
that's empowering thing.
I
though.
think though, like what you said is like not something that gets talked about enough. Where it's like the algorithm isn't this mysterious, weird thing that nobody can figure out. The algorithm is just like, what do people like?
especially right now.
You went massive on Buffalo Wild Wings because that was something that's funny, relatable, and is like true. Like what actually happened to Buffalo Wild Wings is a genuine question. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the same as it was 10 years ago. Everybody knows that.
Thousands and thousands of people are commenting that.
Right.
what I
And
mean?
so, like, of course that piece of content worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the algorithm is just
People. Yeah, I mean, especially with like Meta. If we're talking about particularly Meta in the last year with the Andromeda update, it's better than it's ever been at showing users exactly what they want to
Right.
see. Creepy, yes. Effective, absolutely.
very much so.
And so,
Also, wouldn't you be mad if you were seeing content that you didn't
well,
like?
the user experience would suck.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you were
like-
seeing stuff that you don't want to watch, it's like, why do I keep getting this?
Correct.
People would be upset about it.
yeah.
So they have to do that kind of stuff to make sure you're going to spend more time on the app and
On
enjoy
Reels and
what
TikTok.
you see.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think like the ego that used to come with like documentary, long form, this and that. And it's actually empowering for me at least, it's been empowering to be like, that actually, you were wrong, and that doesn't work. But the market is right, and if you follow the market and tweak it to you,
Right.
I mean, you will grow. You'll have staying power, and your brand
Right.
will matter.
Right.
And so, it's been an empowering change. It doesn't sound like it at first. Like, it sounds so negative before you can like get into that reframe of like, this is actually a good thing. Like,
It is a good thing.
It's a good thing
Yeah.
that the algorithm works the way it does, because
You're not guessing
there's
anymore.
answers, man.
Yeah.
Yes,
there are
exactly.
answers to the questions. Yep.
Exactly. It's like we used to put out like, 3-minute documentary on Instagram and be like, 42 people viewed it. It's like, why are you doing that?
Right. Nobody
so
wants to watch that.
yeah, to have let that go has been, I don't care anymore. And that's cool.
That's solid.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, we'll call that episode 1 of the
Cool.
Net Positive podcast.
Net positive done.
I will see y'all
Whenever. Next time.